News This Morning.
A serious crash shut down powers for hours overnight, and then that crept into the morning drive. The road is back open at 6 a.m., but we still don't know what caused it. Just ahead, what we've confirmed with police so far.
And we have another breaking news alert. A bill that would make it harder for parents to opt out of vaccinations for their kids is taking a big step forward. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on your Thursday. I'm Rebecca Hager.
I'm Adam Atchison. Let's start there with breaking news.
We want to get to that other breaking news alert now. One man is in the hospital with some pretty serious injuries right now following a crash that involved a Colorado Springs street sweeper. It shut down northbound powers for hours this morning. The road is now back open.
That's good news for drivers. You're going to want to see this video, though. It's incredible. 11 News reporter Jenna Middaugh is live on Powers near Platte, right where that happened. Jenna, what do we know?
Live in Colorado Springs, Jenna Middaugh, KKTV 11 News.
Wow, looking at that video, it is not hard to believe they had to cut him out of the car. That's awful.
Hopefully he's doing okay. Let's get over to Jordan now with your...
Rebecca. Guys, thank you. It is 6:03. This is new from overnight, a pretty bizarre story. Police arrested a woman who they say was throwing eggs and bleach at people. Officers were called to a hotel off I-25 and Lake Avenue last night. Witnesses told police that Erin Batiste hit a guest with a vase and then got in her car and started ramming into other parked vehicles. She also allegedly tried to run over a hotel employee. Investigators say Batiste was not staying at the hotel. None of the victims had ever seen her before. Police say she was driving a stolen SUV. The Colorado Family Medical Leave bill is on its way to the governor's desk. It's been a pretty debated topic at the Capitol. We've told you about it a lot. Before lawmakers made changes, this bill would have allowed Coloradans to take up to 12 weeks of paid time off for a new baby or maybe sick family time. Now, that was scrapped, and instead, the bill that was passed will create a task force to study how to pay for family leave. A small business owner tells us she'd love to give her workers protection in times of need. This task force could determine if a paid family leave bill passes next year. We'll keep our eye on it and pass any updates along to you. Happening now, cities along the Mississippi River are preparing for what could be the worst flooding since historic flooding in 1993. The water shut down roads and businesses in southern Illinois. Areas north of St. Louis are expecting even more flooding. A couple who paid $600,000 to get their daughters into college are the latest to plead guilty in the admissions bribery scandal. Bruce and Davina Isaacson appeared in court yesterday. Bruce Isaacson is the former president of a California real estate firm. More than a dozen parents have agreed to plead guilty. Another 19 are fighting the allegations. CBS News reports the Isaacsons are the only parents currently cooperating with investigators. This is developing this morning. The Trump administration is laying out its argument for doing away with Obamacare completely. The Justice Department calls the Affordable Care Act unconstitutional. Government lawyers say instead of picking and choosing specific parts of the legislation to strike down, the entire law should go. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals will hear arguments on this issue in July. That could lead to a Supreme Court case. The Affordable Care Act currently provides health care for millions. Your time right now is 6:08. This is developing. A cruise ship has been quarantined after word that someone on board has measles. This is in St. Lucia in the Caribbean. The cruise ship, owned by the Church of Scientology, has been ordered to stay in port. Happening now, you have a chance to snag some really cheap flights through Frontier Airlines. The Denver-based carrier is having a sale on one-way flights. It ends on Tuesday. Our news partners at the Gazette report the sale includes flights to Atlanta, Minneapolis, San Antonio, and D.C. The lowest price that I found from Denver was to Wichita or Little Rock for just $15. You can also snag flights to Dallas, Kansas City, Minneapolis, and more for $25 one way. But here's the deal. As I was doing this checking, it became very apparent you have to pick exactly the right dates from now until the middle of June or so.
And don't forget about the baggage fees and all those other fees that get tacked on.
Don't forget.
Yep. But she's just looking great there.
Such a cutie with that smile.
Yep.
Well, developing this morning, as we've reported, if you want to visit Hanging Lake, you'll need to make a reservation. This week, shuttles started running to and from Hanging Lake. Ahead, we'll hear from people who were the first to try it.
Woodland Park, upper 50s for Friday, and then 60s on the way for Saturday and Sunday.
60s, that's going to feel like a big warm-up, even though it's only a slight one.
Absolutely, and that sunshine making a return too. I think that'll feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's great to see the temperatures for the weekend because we've got a lot of events, you know, car show going on, food truck festival.
Yeah, and I think people just want to get outside.
Yeah,
it's time.
For sure. It's
Get some
spring.
gardening done.
All right, Jordan, let's take a look at the roads with you. How are we doing for on-time traffic?
Yeah, so far.
All right, thank you. This is developing this morning. You've probably noticed by now, when you open the Facebook app on your phone, it may look a little bit different. Mine doesn't yet, but I haven't updated the app. Now, Facebook says this is all part of a plan to make the site more private. It also plans to roll out the change for desktop users in the next few months. So the first thing you might notice is that Facebook actually ditched its signature blue banner. And it also emphasizes groups and stories more than your newsfeed. A redesigned Messenger app allows you to chat with friends on WhatsApp and Instagram. Mark Zuckerberg talked about these changes earlier this week.
But I'm committed to doing this well and to starting a new chapter for our products.
So let's talk about that. Not everyone is convinced these changes will help. The tech site Mashable says the changes are mainly to the app and not to Facebook's controversial privacy policies.
Happening. All the smartphone apps can be hard for parents to control and easy for predators to exploit. So she's offering a free workshop for parents tonight. We also have all this information at kktv.com. It'll be easy to find. Just click on Find It on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, there's so much now online that can be confusing for those of us who are not growing up with the newest developments.
I know it's hard to keep up. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
6:19 this morning. We have an 11 call for action alert.
Welcome back. We have an 11 call for action alert you might want to hear about before you make your coffee. Starbucks is recalling their Bodum recycled coffee press. It's because the coffee press plunger knob that's on top, it can break and expose the metal rod, and then that could actually cut you. About 230,000 presses are under this recall. If you would like a refund, you need to call the hotline there. It's on your screen for Starbucks, or you could visit their website.
And they're hoping that it'll be able to protect the area a little bit better.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. We really should preserve it. So hopefully it works. Star Wars fans, listen up. You can try to book a trip to a galaxy far, far away starting today. The Disneyland Resort in California is taking reservations for its new Star Wars theme park. The widely anticipated themed land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, opens on May 31st. Reservations will be required only if you plan a visit until June 23rd, and those reservations are available online starting today at 9 a.m.
That looks incredible from the air.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I'd probably go to a different part of the park, but I know some people who would go there, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
just, part ways maybe.
Just want
for
to
a
live
few
there,
hours.
right? 6:24. Listen to this. We also have an update to an 11 breaking news alert we've been following all morning long, and there's some good news for drivers right now. All lanes of Powers are back open following a pretty serious crash involving a Colorado Springs street sweeper.
Yeah, the video is crazy. 11 News reporter Jenna Mitta is live on Powers near Platte where the crash happened. Jenna, what do we know right now? Well, happening now, severe weather continues to affect people from Texas all the way to New York. At least 2 deaths are blamed on the latest round of storms. In Missouri, people are cleaning up the damage after a number of tornadoes touched down earlier this week. And in other areas of the country, the issue is flooding. Heavy rain and melting snow is putting several communities along the Mississippi River at risk. One man says he lost his business on the same day he planned to hold his grand opening.
I heard him yell, "The levee broke." By the time I got back, about a block, walked back, the water was about 4 feet deep.
Wow, some of this is expected to continue. I know I've got family in Iowa and some of that's along the Mississippi. It just looks awful, Sydney.
Absolutely, and it's crazy to believe how fast those flooding situations can take a turn for the worse. I want to talk about what's going on for this morning. We are seeing some showers and
The House Judiciary Committee hopes to have special counsel Robert Mueller testify in about 2 weeks. One person they may not hear from, though, is Attorney General William Barr. He is expected to miss a scheduled appearance today, actually. Now, yesterday he explained why he did not charge President Trump with obstruction of justice. Special counsel Robert Mueller laid out 10 possible instances, including one where the president ordered then White House counsel Don McGahn to have Mueller fired. Chairman Jerry Nadler wanted lawmakers and staff attorneys from both parties to be able to question Barr. At least 10 Democratic presidential candidates are calling on Barr to resign. The sheriff's office tells us they're making real progress in busting illegal marijuana grows in El Paso County. This is the most recent one you see here, found yesterday morning in Ellicott. Deputies say 100 plants, they found those, and 1 man was arrested. The sheriff's office says these grows are starting to get more sophisticated. Deputies also say there is a 20% decline in the number of grows they're seeing in eastern El Paso County compared to this time last year. We're learning more about the investigation into a high-ranking Air Force officer who was fired from the academy. Brigadier General Kristen Goodwin was removed from her role as Commandant of Cadets. The Academy Superintendent confirms now that the Air Force Inspector General is investigating her. It all started because of a complaint filed by an Academy staff member. The superintendent says the investigation has expanded beyond that complaint.
Time is 6:50. Glad you're up early today. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Rebecca Hager. Let's check in one last time before the top of the hour with our meteorologist, Sydney Jackson, for a look outside. How's it going, Sydney? We'll take a look at all the damage at a gas station after a car crashed into it. This happened yesterday at the Loaf and Jug near Highway 115 and Cheyenne Meadows Road in Colorado Springs. Geez, there's a gaping hole there. The storefront window was taken out. No one was hurt. Police did ticket the driver for careless driving. The Air Force is investigating the crash of a $4.2 million plane. This training aircraft crashed into farmland about 100 miles southwest of Oklahoma City yesterday afternoon. Shepherd Air Force Base says that both the pilot and co-pilot ejected safely. That's in Texas, by the way. It's unclear what caused the crash, so again, they are investigating.
So look for that interview right after our show on CBS this morning.
All right, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We'll see you guys in 30 minutes for our next update. We also have 11 news at 9 o'clock. Don't forget about that.